Okay, so I'm very, very pleased to have a guest on the Ale and Audio podcast with me. And if you're listening to Ale and Radio, that's great too, because you'll get to hear him this playing out live. Obviously, hello to all our live listeners on a Friday morning. But yeah, welcome to the Ale and Audio podcast. This is just incredible. This challenge, we mentioned it going back now to, I think it was before Christmas. We mentioned this challenge as part of one of our quiz questions, and it's basically the Great British Pub Crawl. Dale and Holly, who are attempting to go and visit every single pub in the UK. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing very well, thank you, buddy. I'm probably doing better than I should be, for considering we've been to 3,000 pubs. Well, 3,100 nearly now in the last 2 years. So
I was going to ask you about that because, I knew you was on the 3,100 sort of mark. So that is going incredibly well.
Yeah.
Where did this bizarre? Are you back? Sorry, you briefly went in and out there. You're back. Where did this crazy idea come from, and are you regretting it?
Well, it probably won't come as any surprise to you to hear that it was my idea. We originally started just doing Nottinghamshire, and we live in Nottinghamshire, obviously, and Nottinghamshire Live, the local newspaper, shared an article saying the best 5 pubs in Nottinghamshire. And we'd been out, and I'd had a drink, obviously, and I got on my high horse. I'm like, well, how the hell do they know what the best 5 pubs in Nottinghamshire are? They've been to every single one of them. Of course they haven't. So I said to Holly, I went, right, I am going to go to every single pub in Nottinghamshire, and then next year when they do this article, I'm going to chime in and say, well, actually, mate, they're not. These are the best 5 pubs in Nottinghamshire. I know, because I'm the only one that's been to them all. So Holly sort of looked at me and she went, of course you are, dear. Not thinking that I would stick at it or go through with it. And the joke's on her, really, isn't it? Because we did all of Nottinghamshire, and it then grew even further. So and we're still going.
Have you actually managed to tick off every single Nottinghamshire pub then?
Yeah, we did at the time of doing the last Nottinghamshire one. So just over a year ago now, we'd done every existing pub that was open in Nottinghamshire at that time. Since then, obviously, some have come, some have gone. And we fill gaps in as and where we can. But yeah, we had actually at one point finished Nottinghamshire as it was on that day.
That is incredible. I mean, I'm trying to think back to what our question was, because I know you posted it on your Facebook page as well. And I think, and I know you asked me, I think it was something around, what percentage have they already done? And obviously it's low because this is this is a grand scale of a challenge.
Yeah.
I've got every belief that you'll do it. But yeah, I mean, even at the 3,000 pubs mark, I bet we're still in the low percentages.
5% maybe. I think Google initially, when I looked into it, Google said 60,000. But right. I don't know if Google's 60,000, we don't know when that count was done. Did that include micro pubs? Did it include social clubs? Did it include cinemas that serve alcohol? Because we've been known to wander into a couple of them, not to watch a movie, just to have a drink. Who knows? I think it's probably never ending, to be honest. So,
so have you set yourself any parameters? Have you set yourself any rules, or is it no? You're going to go to every drinking establishment, or you're sticking on pubs, or?
I mean, the rules tend to change as we go along, depending on where we are and what mood I'm in, usually. But the only rule I've got is I have to have an alcoholic drink in every single one of these pubs. So in every single one that I've been to so far, I have had some form of alcoholic beverage, whether it be a half, or a spirit in a mixer, or a bottle, or a shot, or something. I have had an alcoholic beverage at least in every single pub. So that was my rule.
It's brilliant, and I mean, not just that it's an amazing challenge, and it gets you out and about. And if you love pubs, it's an ideal challenge. But as well as that, I think one thing that you're doing, whether you meant to do this or not, you're actually raising kind of the awareness of pubs and obviously how fragile the industry is at the minute as well, and really sort of supporting those establishments that are suffering in this day and age as well.
Exactly that. I mean, the other reason behind starting it was that we got absolutely sick and tired of driving down the road and seeing closed down pubs. I mean, I did a little video aimed at my MP, and I say aimed at, it really was aimed at my MP, because I'd written to her twice and had no response whatsoever. A little video where I went out and I drew a circle on our map, 1.5 mile radius around where we live. And I went and stood outside and filmed 12 different closed down pubs just in that 1.5 mile radius. And they've all got the signs up still at the pub. Some of them are now flats. Some of them are just standing derelict. But it's a joke. And it took the power of social media for her to bother to respond to me. The second I tagged her in and said she didn't care, within an hour, I think she'd responded. So, saying she does care, but we'll see.
That's brilliant. I mean, and obviously, and the following that you're getting is obviously also going to encourage people to do that. Because I know you encourage people to come on the pub crawls with you. So, I mean, looking at your Facebook page, you've just hit the 50,000 followers mark on there, which is absolutely incredible. So, you know, people are seeing this, and you're listing the pubs that you go to, and you're actually providing people a little bit of a guideline there. If they want to go and do their own pub crawl, you're able to do that for them, aren't you?
Yeah, the idea is that we go to the different towns, and we try and cover as many different styles of pubs while we're in the town as we can. Like, we'll try, even if a pub necessarily doesn't appeal to me, it doesn't mean it won't appeal to someone else. So we value all pubs, and we'll go to every single style of pub in a town, as many as we can get through in one hit, we'll go to, and then we'll give people a fair rundown of what is in that town. So if you want to go to a pub and you want to drink Foster's or Carling and watch the football, I'll tell you where you can go and do that. If you want to go and have a craft beer, a sour, or a Russian Imperial Stout like I love, I'll tell you where the craft beer places are to go in that town. Basically, I'm doing everybody's legwork for them.
Yeah, you are. You're covering the whole host of the types of, you know, pub shed audience and home bar and beer lovers that we've got listening as well. Because obviously there are people at opposite ends of the scale who some like this, some like that.
Exactly.
And how's Holly doing on this as well? Then is she starting to regret encouraging you to do this?
How's Holly doing? Are you regretting? She sat right here, so are you regretting asking me to?
Not regretting, but it does feel never ending.
Not regretting, but it does feel never ending.
It really is. It's bringing people together as well, because one thing I had a look at on your Facebook page was you obviously encourage people to kind of join in the photographs as well, and people are flocking to have like photographs of you. So I'll put a few up on screen. There's some on here, so these are brilliant. I also want to compare you a little bit to the Pet Shop Boys, because you've got like one of the Pet Shop Boys singers sort of stands in the foreground, and then the other one, it's their style to have the other one stood in the background. You've sort of perfected that look. I don't know if that was purposeful or not, but you've kind of got that similar look on every photograph, haven't you?
It's just because my arms are a lot longer. If Holly's holding the camera, we'd never get everybody in. So that was all it was originally. But yeah, I mean, it is. I've got a good side as well, so I try to make sure that my good side is always the side that's in the photos. I mean, Holly says she's got a good side as well, but I don't take any note of that, because Holly's got two good sides. So I just do it to make sure that I look all right. Although you've put up two absolute horrific ones there, but yeah.
They were random pics. In fact, some of them that I've put up on screen for the YouTube viewers are the Loxley, and I can see the Dod of Tap. They're both kind of in my sort of area. So you've been up to sort of Sheffield, Barnsley, South Yorkshire area.
Oh, that Loxley is actually Nottingham. That Loxley. You've got a Loxley up there, have you?
We've got a place called Loxley. I don't know if there's a pub there. There's a really great pub at Loxley. Because there's Loxley Brewery and stuff like that as well. So, but the Dod of Tap, that's definitely not too far away from me as well.
Yeah.
So, what you've said, obviously you've put a massive dint in, obviously Nottinghamshire, because you've pretty much covered all of that. Are there any other places in the UK that you think you've pretty much done most of? Have you really put a big dint in anywhere else?
Not most of. I mean, Leicestershire, we've had a fair old crack at. Obviously, Derbyshire again, we've had a fair old crack at, but it's so vast, Derbyshire. You're never going. I mean, Yorkshire, we've covered quite a bit of again, but you're never going to get through these overnight. They're massive, great spaces, and they Yorkshire and Derbyshire especially are massive, massive areas. So Leicestershire is probably the closest to being ticked off. Mm-hmm. Next, but we're still a long way from doing it. There's a lot of country pubs still to get to. Lincolnshire, we've done quite a bit of. Obviously, the ones that surround Nottinghamshire are the ones that are easy enough for us to get to. So I think they're the ones we've been hitting.
Yeah, I think when we featured you, you'd been in one of the newspapers, and I think you were around the sort of Newcastle and the Line area, so Stoke-on-Trent area. So you were around that area at the time as well.
Yeah, we've done quite a lot of Stoke now and all the surrounding bits. Done all Congleton and Newcastle. We've done 3 of the 6 towns of the city of Stoke. Leek, Yeah, we've done a lot round that way.
And how are you plotting it then? Do you have like a big sort of massive map, or is it kind of more digital, or writing it down?
For Nottinghamshire, there's a still laminated map on the wall in my office of Nottinghamshire, where I literally took every pub name and pinned them in, and we were going across them as we did. But obviously for the whole country, that's a big old task. So yeah, it just tends to be now. I've got a list of where we've been. I just Google Maps a town, look at what's in it, and kind of decide where to go from there.
Brilliant. And have there been any places that have really stood out to you on you? Have you got like a favourite pub so far out of the 3,100?
I mean, I actually have, to be honest, and it's a really weird one for me to admit to, because I've always sort of said that I make my own opinion up about pubs. We don't go by others' opinion. And the Camera Pub National Pub of the Year 2 years in a row is in Tamworth. So
Okay.
I went to Tamworth and I was like, right, you know what? I'm going to go in this pub and see what all the fuss is about. I was like, they must be greasing some palms or getting some votes from somewhere to win this 2 years in a row. How have they done it? And honestly, it blew me away. Everything from the beer selection to the people that run it to how old the pub is and the way it's set out and kept, and everything they put into it is just perfect. And it's called the Tamworth Tap, and it is honestly the best pub I've ever been into.
Oh, sounds amazing. Well, I'm going to set you a little challenge then, because I am very lucky that my local is called The Commercial, and it's in Chapeltown, Sheffield. So from Nottingham, you're talking two trains, one into Sheffield and one to Chapeltown. You get off the train at Chapeltown, the pub is right there.
Yeah.
Now, this pub, The Commercial, it's my local, so I'll always be a bit biased towards it. But it's just won the Sheffield Star Pub of the Year, and a bit like, I mean, people kind of have to vote for it and stuff like that. But one thing they're really famous for is their amazing chip butties. And they've got like, I think there's something like 80 odd different combinations of stuff you can have on your chip butties.
Nice.
Thai curry sauces, you can have like egg and breakfast type things on them, different types of meat, burgers, all sorts of specialities you can have in your chip butties. Absolutely incredible. They do that on a Wednesday night, I think. So if you're ever able to pop up on a Wednesday or anything
on a Wednesday,
like that, let me know.
Go and have a tip butty.
Exactly. And if you want to start knocking pub sheds off your list as well, you're welcome to come and have a pint in here too.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because I did float the idea past Holly the other day of another little sort of YouTube series. Yeah, so visiting the home bars and home sheds of the UK. So I'll make sure you're one of the first.
There we go. Yeah, brilliant. I'd love that. Now there is a bit of a question I want to ask. It might be a bit of a taboo question, but I reckon a lot of people want to know, and I'm sure somebody else has asked you this question. How much is this challenge costing?
I mean, it set us back a lot, let's say. I mean, I don't know a figure exactly, but if you said that we average a £10 spend across each pub, with obviously if you take into account some are a lot cheaper, so we have a half in each, but some we've eaten in, and then you put in travel or hotels and things like that. If you said that an average spend to have visited each pub that we've been to so far was about a tenner, you can work the maths out yourself on that one, because I don't want to say the number out loud. But YouTube and Facebook are now both on our side, and revenue is starting to drip through from them. So the more followers we can get on Facebook, the more subscribers onto YouTube, the better, because it will help fund this crazy adventure. And I said all the stuff we do for the pubs is for them free of charge. We still spend the money in the pubs, because that was the whole point of doing it. Put some money in the till and support the pubs as best we can. We don't want freebies off the pubs. We want to go in, we want to give them some money, and we want to give them the free advertising. So yeah, it's all about, for us, subscribers and followers, because eventually that will be what helps us to cope with the financial offset of doing what we do.
Excellent. And like you say, we go back to that point, but yeah, you are doing such an amazing thing for pubs. And also, you're getting that bigger following now that I imagine when you're going to be somewhere, you go in somewhere, you're getting people coming out to want to see and meet you as well, aren't you?
Yeah, it is getting a little bit like that. I did send Holly a message, because I like to, especially if I go out on me, Holly's got a regular job as well as this now, whereas I do this full time now. Holly, I tend to sit and write me notes in each pub before, and if Holly's not with me, I'll send them through to her on WhatsApp so I don't lose them if I delete my email and my draft goes. So I got about 6 pubs in I think it was Lichfield Leek a few weeks ago. And I sent her a message after about 6 saying I cannot get a minute to myself to sit and write anything, because every pub I went in, there were people there that wanted to talk to me or knew. And I just couldn't write anything. So it's lovely. We love meeting people. Please do keep coming and saying hello and having photos with us and stuff like that. We love it. But yeah, if you just see me typing away on my phone, I'm just in the moment, just doing me notes. Don't mind me. Please do come and say hello anyway.
I think the other thing I needed to ask as well, and I think I've probably seen this already on your page, but what is the most you've done so far in one session on your pub crawls?
It was 30 in one day in Derby, about 6 or 8 weeks ago now. Jumped on the train, got off in Derby, planned myself a little route around the town, and I think I planned the initial route on 24. And then I thought to myself, the most we'd ever done up to that day was 25. And I said, right, you know what? Sod it, I'll do 25. I might as well smash the record day out. Let's go and do 25. And then it just turned into 30. So
absolutely brilliant. And I think as part of kind of that sort of thing as well, I saw that you'd like published your own bit of a pub crawl for people to be able to follow in your own local area. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to do an event on the 26th of May, the bank holiday Sunday coming up. We're calling it the World's End Pub Crawl. For anyone who's ever seen the movie, the third one of the Cornetto trilogy, they try and do 12 pubs, 12 pints to sort of get their hometown, so to speak, done, don't they? So I've said, look, I don't expect anybody to come out on a pub crawl with us and do 30 pubs like I did. That's ridiculous. How about we aim to do 12 pints, 12 pubs. We have a great afternoon on the bank holiday Sunday. So everybody is invited. So there's the event pins to the top of our Facebook page you can find. Come over, come out with us. We're going to start at 3 p.m. on that Sunday. I've put the route of the 12 that we're going to up. Should be a banging day.
Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure there'll be people taking you up on that offer. Finally as well, Joe from the Brew Club Hull, who he's part of our show, and he does a feature for us called Desert Island Beers. We've had celebrities on it and everything so far. You'll be the next celebrity on it, I'm sure, because he's got you on his list, so he'll be in touch to ask you about your Desert Island beers and your favourite pubs.
Lovely.
And stuff like that as well. But Dale and Holly, thank you so much for this. This has been brilliant. I'm really looking forward to people hearing it as well. And please do give them a follow and really support the cause, the Great British Pub Crawl. Absolutely brilliant. Cheers, Dale.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.